Hello, this is Heisenberg.
And this is Andrew from the G Forever website.
And we're here to review S.H.MonsterArts Shin Godzilla and compare it to all the other Shin Godzilla figures.
This figure came out in Japan sometime in November, I think maybe a few days ago actually.
Yes, just out and shipped in from Japan, because it's only sold in Japan, unfortunately. It's sold out very quickly. I ordered it as soon as you could pre-order it for about $100. Glad to have it. And that's this one right here, by the way. There he is.
This guy.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, I was amongst the ones that were hoping for a domestic release, but when they announced this is a Japan exclusive, it's pretty much sold out everywhere online. On eBay, I think people are asking twice as much for it, around the $200 range.
It's about 7 inches tall and about 16 inches long.
Yep, so this makes the largest MonsterArts figure in the line.
Okay, so what do you like about it, Andrew?
It's a very nice figure, very detailed. Comparing it to all the others, this is probably the most articulated one that we have. The only one where the mouth can actually be opened wide, just like the movie. The sculpt itself is pretty nice. I really like it. I think the drawback I have, the painting on this figure, I feel it's a little too glossy.
Yeah, I hadn't noticed it when I first looked at it, but especially compared to all these others. Mm-hmm. He is very shiny
compared to the others.
Yeah.
The sculpt on the fins is fantastic. I really like that. The arms are puny, just like the movie. Toenails, it looks very accurate.
Yeah, one thing I really like about it is that it does look like it's shaped, it has the same shape as Shin Godzilla in the movie. Mm-hmm. Got the really big and long tail,
yep.
Tiny arms, and yeah, the dorsal fins, the spikes look really cool.
Going back to the head and the mouth of the figure, I think the way they sculpted it, they kind of made the sculpt is mostly for the open mouth feature. So when you try to close it, it's not fully closed. I think you want to point out the teeth, right? It's not as jagged as the...
And also, one thing I really like about Shin Godzilla in the movie is that he does have a lot of teeth, and they're very jagged and kind of chaotic. Here, it's like the teeth, you don't seem like the teeth are very small. You don't seem to quite have as much, and there's not as much detail to the teeth.
Yeah.
So I was hoping for a little more detail on them.
Yeah, that could be due to the scale. Maybe it's just maybe more difficult to do those kind of teeth, because Shin Godzilla's teeth compared to the previous Godzilla's much more thinner and just all over the place. If you remember Destroya, it's similar to that type of teeth. And I think another nice feature on this figure is the tail. The tip of the tail, but I want to point out. The sculpt itself is very nice. You can see the details that maybe you missed in the movie, but you can see there's almost like a face here. I don't want to spoil the movie, but you can see it's kind of like a skeleton. I think a lot from all the rumors is like a skeleton from some marine animals, but you can definitely tell there's kind of like a skull shaped, and then just followed by just a bunch of skeletons, and it's the paint on it is almost like mutilated flesh.
Oh yeah, very nicely done. My main drawback, my main disappointment is what I like about one thing that I really like about Shin Godzilla in the movie is his color, that it seems like the most of the skin is black, kind of it looks like lava. The most of the skin, it's like a most of the skin is like a black of lava, and then in the cracks in the skin and the seams, is where he's red again, like hot lava. And and he does seem to in the movie, the red seems to glow, but here on this figure, they just kind of made him almost more just kind of like a dark red, and it's not even a uniform dark red. It's you pick one piece of him, and it's kind of a darker, it's a little darker. Another piece of them is a little lighter. So it's not, so parts of it, around the spikes, they've done a better job of making it, red like it was around the spikes in the movie. But But yeah. So the color.
I think the thighs is where it's evident. We're jumping a little ahead by comparing it, but I think in the movie, most evident around the thighs and the tail is where the segments meet. That's when you see the red highlights. I think on the MonsterArts figure, that's kind of absent. It's just a uniform, like dark red, kind of going across. Whereas I think the Banpresto does a great job of showing the highlights.
Just sort of like
of the tail.
Yeah, Banpresto does a much better job of just kind of like making the cracks red and the rest of it, black.
Yep.
And also the tip of the tail is like a very light color, like a very light orange. It almost looks pink to me.
Yeah, I think it's like flesh color, so it's like a pinkish.
Yeah, so that seems lighter than what I remember in the movie. It seems like a little too light, but yeah, so I'm a little concerned about that.
I'm wondering if it's because they want to highlight the details, because if you look at the Banpresto, which is the other, the sculpt is quite nice. They didn't do like the light color, so it's harder to see.
MonsterArts, like tip of the tail, like the sculpt is actually looks better. Maybe than the Banpresto, looking at them together here.
It could be, I think the color making it lighter just highlights the details. I think as seen on the Banpresto, it's a little harder to see the details, but
it's a little more uniform.
Exactly. The color is just more uniform there. But having the lighter color and then just the where the pockets are with the dark, like the dark red.
Another disappointment is that it's like the body is very articulate, so I really like the articulation on the body. But the tail, you can't move the tail as much as the tail moves in the movie. I was hoping that you could like have the tail like pointing straight up more. But yeah, I tried to move the tail, and then the tail just comes off.
I think you may have saw it in the video earlier. The tail, there's a few points, it just comes off.
Yeah.
So I too am a little disappointed because I think in the movie the majority of the movement from Shin Godzilla was the tail, and it just keeps falling off.
Yeah.
So posing the tail is a lot more difficult than you'd expect from previous entries in the MonsterArts line.
Yeah, and it can't come close to the same position, same movements that he makes in the movie.
Yep. In the movie, the tail actually comes almost like straight up, and it kind of wags around, but this is quite stiffed. So from a articulation point, I think this is probably the least articulated tail that we've seen.
Yeah, right.
And if we just grab the original MonsterArts figure, you can see the tail. It's not it's the first generation, but the tail is very fluid.
Oh yeah. It looks that tail actually.
And you can bend more without it coming apart. So, I think. As the MonsterArts figures you've seen in the recent releases, I think a lot of the joints come off, but they did a great job with the first release. I think everything stays quite nice.
Yeah, let me move this here. Let's set them down next to it.
Sure.
So you can also see real fast.
Yep.
That the MonsterArts is definitely taller. So I like the fact, I do like the fact that the this is a bigger MonsterArts figure than the standard one, which I like, because that's one thing I find disappointing about MonsterArts figures is they're not really quite as big as I want them to be. So this one is bigger, so I like that. I like that it's bigger size quite a bit.
I think the bigger size is because this Godzilla is actually larger than all the other Godzillas. I think that comes into play. I'm not sure if it's made to scale, but I think they're just trying to focus on that. The MonsterArts figures are roughly about 6 inches, so this gives you that extra inch for the head.
So Andrew, you got like basically everything here.
Yeah, I got pretty much all. I tried to grab all the figures from the new movie. The only one I'm missing is actually this guy, so I'm really glad to see it in person. So thank you for bringing it here.
Yeah, so you want to show us, why don't you start on your right? Just
Sure.
Tell people what we've got here.
So we have the HG.
I'll try to put it closer to your face there.
Yep. So this is the smallest of all the Shin Godzilla figures.
Yeah, that's the one they sell in vending machines.
Yep. And those little capsule balls.
And here's the Sega. This is my first time seeing the Sega.
Here's the Sega figure. It's about I want to say 4 inches tall, and then the tail is quite long.
So for its size, it looks good for its size here.
Yeah, I think it's quite proportional. They emphasized the tail spikes here. I think they did a good job with the spines. The paint job is decent. I think you like the mostly black with the red highlights.
Yeah, I think the red looks a little drab though. I wish the were a little brighter.
Yeah, this is actually more of a brown, I want to say. It's not really red, to be honest.
Yeah, I wish the red were a little brighter, but otherwise he looks, especially for his size, he looks good.
Yep. Yeah, I think they did overall good. They did it overall nice on this figure, except for the face. I think the face just kind of let me down.
Yeah, the face could be a little better. It's also I'm surprised they gave him a closed mouth. I think he might be better. I think he might be better if the mouth were open a little bit.
Yeah, but.
Yeah. So what else do we have here?
We move on to the standard Bandai, the 6-inch figure from the Movie Monsters Series. So great figure for the price and the size. It's in scale of the 6-inch line. So so we have like the Godzilla Island series from '98, and then there's also the green tag, the pink tag, all the different variations of the 6-inch line. The Movie Monster Series.
Very good. And then you've got the...
So the paint, there's not much paint. I think it was a little lackluster.
Yeah, it's mostly just black.
Yeah, it's mostly black. You don't have any highlights on the legs or the tail at all.
Yeah, there's only a few spots with red on it.
Just the chest, the neck, and a little bit of the fins. So a little disappointed on the paint job, but for the figure itself, it's very nice.
Oh yeah.
We're moving on to the theater exclusive 6-inch Bandai figure. Same sculpt, just clear red. I'm not sure if you can see in the video, but
a little glitter on them.
Yep, some gold glitter. I believe it's inside the figure. So yeah, it's similar to the Godzilla 2000 theater exclusive that was put out 16 years ago. Or 17. It's 1999. Yep.
So then the MonsterArts
that we've been.
About.
Yep.
The next name is the Banpresto, and I think this is my favorite of all of them.
Yeah, the Banpresto.
But yeah, I just wish he cost less.
Yeah. So I think like most people, this was the figure. This is probably the most the most accurate sculpt they have so far of Shin Godzilla. And
does he have any articulation?
No articulation at all. It's just
a statue.
It's more like a statue.
Okay. The
sculpt is great. It's by Yuji Sakai. One of the most famous Godzilla sculptors, and I believe this was like those not claw machines, but it's like a lottery type of deal.
So, lottery. Yeah.
So
buy a lottery ticket and hope to win it.
So that contributed on the increase in the price because it's much harder to get. And comparing it to previous Banprestos, I thought the price was a little high, and I was probably one that waited, and I shouldn't, because the price keeps going up.
But yeah, and it's actually the side by side, the MonsterArts next to the Banpresto is what really makes it noticeable that the MonsterArts is very shiny, because it's like the Banpresto is much more dull.
Yeah,
and I think in the movie too, it's like Godzilla's much more dull than shiny.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So we have the King Kaiju.
The big Bandai.
The big Bandai. Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, this figure wins with the size. It's the largest of all so far. The 25 centimeter X Plus is coming out soon in December.
But very little articulation.
Yeah. No, we have some. We have the arms and the legs.
So
just like the 6-inch.
Basic.
But we don't have.
Yeah, none on the tail.
Nothing on the tail, unfortunately.
I don't really like the way the tail's like. Yes. Actually, I don't like the shape of the tail in this one.
Yeah, so the reason for this is, I think, similar to all the Bandai Creation or Bandai USA figures. The tail was molded so it can fit in the box.
Right.
So I think that's why you have this shape, so it can fit inside the box. The tail, I think, is not proportional from the movie. It looks shorter, probably due to the shape, and maybe a little wider too.
Yeah, a little too thick.
A little too thick. Yeah. But for the price, actually no, I'm gonna take that back. This in Japan, this figure costs more than the Bandai USA counterpart for the size. So I think it was, I want to say between $40 to $50 in Japan. Aftermarket, I got this around, I want to say 75 or 80. So it's a little on the pricier side, and but I do like the sculpt. I mean, as a Bandai, I've been collecting Bandais for so long. I think for the Bandai sculpt, this is actually quite nice. Again, a little, the paint job is a little lacking.
Yeah, and there's a plush. Oh, well, so
yeah,
let's get to these. Oh, yeah, then all
we don't want to forget about Godzilla's other forms.
Yeah, you got
So
forms two and three.
and this is 4. So people are wondering, well, but 1. So 1, they actually never revealed what 1 looks like except for the tail. And right now, I don't think there are any figures currently available for Form 1. There will be, I think there's a HG set, or I forget, the Gashapon set or something, a candy toy set that will include Form 1, and the Albatross line will include Forms 1 through 4, and that's coming out soon.
Yeah, those upcoming small figures, I've ordered from Hobby Link Japan. Again, still not sure what they look like, but I ordered them anyway.
Yep.
Oh yeah, so we got and there's a plush.
Yep, so we have the small plush and the larger plush. There's also one other plush, but it's less accurate to the actual Shin Godzilla.
Oh yeah, looking good. Oh, he's very cute.
Yeah, very cute for a plush of Shin Godzilla. I actually prefer if Shin Godzilla looked like this without all the the markings. I think he would actually look good, kind of like classic looking Godzilla, but with maybe red fins and maybe a little bit red highlights on the tail.
Yeah, I like the red on the fins and and the red on the tail here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he's more of like a classic looking Godzilla. You don't really have all the details of Shin Godzilla except on the fins and the tail. I mean, I would kind of prefer Shin Godzilla looking like this.
All right.
And we have the mask.
Yeah, grab your mask.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep. So here's the mask. I haven't taken off the tag yet, but he did a pretty good job from taking the mold from the computer and bringing it to life. And you can see the jagged teeth.
Oh yeah. Here you can see. Yeah, there's a lot of teeth, and they're all rather chaotic.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully one day they'll come out with a full suit so you can dress up as Halloween.
Oh yeah.
So so what I did is I usually fill up the masks since I don't wear them that often.
Yeah, you put some paper in there.
I put some like tissue or newspaper in there, maybe some foam just to keep its shape. Otherwise, I think it comes flat from Japan in a plastic bag. So to kind of puff it out and bring it back to its shape, I just stuff it in.
So again, Andrew, so you have your own Godzilla website.
Yep.
And Facebook page.
Yep. So yeah, it's gforever.net. So you can find us on there, and also on Facebook, facebook.com gforever. So feel free to send a message or anything.
Sounds good. And let's see. Oh yeah. I think that'll do it. So once again, I'm Heisenberg here with Andrew.
Yep.
Yeah, we're hoping you enjoy your Shin Godzilla figures.
Yep.